Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Wendy Keir, a business coach, and I wanted to talk you through my story of how I went from earning very little, selling £7 or $7 for a membership website, to earning consistent 5k months at the age of 50. So let's get going. I struggled for years trying to sell personal and transformational coaching. And that's not even an exaggeration. You're probably looking at about 10 years that I was struggling in my business. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that story with you now. So I want to go through some of the struggles it is that I faced and what I did to overcome those struggles. Once I'd nailed down what it is that I needed to do, once I understood what it is that I needed to do, then the business started to blossom, and so did I. But the truth is I faced lots and lots of different challenges, and those challenges were really encountered because I didn't know that I needed different skills in my coaching business. I was under the illusion from my coaching provider that you could qualify and then go out into the world and sell your coaching. People would buy it even though you hadn't niched, even though you haven't created a really great offer, even though you didn't know how to sell. So these are just some of the things, the challenges it is that I faced. I really struggled to sell because I didn't know how to sell. Plus I wasn't able to separate the perceived value of myself and how much I was earning. I always attached my value and self-esteem to how much I was earning, which was pretty terrible because when I wasn't earning, I felt really low, really bad, and all of these other negative emotions hit me quite hard. So I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to market. I didn't even know how to create an offer that people would buy, and I didn't want to niche. So I was hanging on in there by a thread, trying to sell transformational coaching under the illusion that you can meet people where they're at, which isn't necessarily true. So I went from charging $7 for a membership website to charging £1,500 to working with me one-to-one. Now, the membership website was just a complete failure. It was the first of its kind for island speakers, and this was before COVID happened. I'm pretty sure if I kept going with it, it would have had much more success than it did have. But this is a membership site that I pulled together to teach people how to speak online because I'd been quite successful at it. So I had a number of people, another number of other professional speakers who were in the membership site delivering training. And for some bizarre reason, I thought I would charge people £7 a month. And it was a failure because, starters, it was too cheap. It required way too much work on my part. And I think the key learning was that people weren't necessarily interested in the actual training. So the training that we were all providing was fantastic training, was great, but people weren't watching it. And what I realized from that membership was that people were really interested in the conversation, getting together once a month, having a conversation, having live training, but they weren't interested in anything that was pre-recorded. And that was quite a big lesson that I learned early on, which has stood me well moving into what it is that I do now. So I basically hit rock bottom. I was really struggling. I couldn't figure it out. So what I decided to do was invest with working with a business coach. And from working with that business coach, I did all of the things that I now teach my client to do. And that is to, test the market, do your research, think about or find out what it is that people will actually invest time, money, and energy into, and learning to understand what the value of the transformational results were. So I was able to detach my own sense of self, how I perceived my value, away from what it is that I was charging my new clients. So I tested the market, I found out what people wanted, I created a signature coaching program. People wanted me to teach them how to create a signature coaching program. They wanted to know how to do their one-to-one intensive, their group program, and VIP days. That's what they told me they wanted. So I created that signature program. I learned how to sell, but more importantly, within the dynamic of that relationship, and this is what's so important with the clients that I work with, is that I was able to challenge and reshape the beliefs I held about myself, about my own worth, but also the story I had around money, what I thought people would pay for and what they wouldn't pay for was just a complete illusion. The problem is I had such a stinking money mindset that when people told me they couldn't afford to pay, I believed them because that was part of my own story, which I just constantly fed it into. It wasn't necessarily true. And part of that was about me not learning how to sell and not taking responsibility for learning how to sell, because I didn't know that was a skill I actually needed. Bizarre, but that really was the case. So I launched my signature coaching program that was to teach coaches, therapists, doctors to create their own signature program as subject matter experts. And I initially priced it at £1,500. I could not believe how easy it was to sell. Now, when I first selling at £1,500, I actually didn't believe that I could sell at £1,500, but I believed in the coach that was teaching me. She told me to stand my ground, and I just couldn't believe how easy it was. So I went from selling a £7 investment for a membership website to teach people how to speak online, to enrolling some of those clients into a premium program that started at £1,500. Quite a big turnaround. And I enrolled a number of those people. So I was consistently able to hit that 5K month. Sometimes I did a lot more than 5K because I was enrolling so many people at a time. And the marketing strategies that I used, and I consistently used while I was enrolling people onto this program, was online challenges every 3 months. And I would center them around being visible, gaining confidence, and talking about your programs online. The other thing I used to do, and I used to convert really, really well at, which is what I'm starting to do again, is to do mini signature talks. Now, I have a video on how I create mini signature talks, which if you haven't seen it, I will pop the link below so you can watch that training. It is absolutely fantastic. It will teach you exactly what it is that you need to be speaking about for your business to make it a unique experience for the listener. So even though it's a step-by-step formula, you adapt it to your own personality, what it is that you do as a business, the problems and the solutions for your own clients. So I did the challenges, I did the online speaking, and I promoted both of these 2 different marketing activities that I did through social media and email marketing campaigns. So what that did over time was it established me as an authority. It built the relationship to a much deeper level with the clients that I had within the membership site. I stopped that because that was just basically burning me out, and I wasn't getting a return on investment for the time and energy it is that I was putting in. And from that marketing that I did, it consistently brought in new leads so I could hit my goal of 5K and beyond consistently every month. So successful coaching, I started with just enrolling 3 clients a month. So I'd be working with 9 clients, roughly around 9 clients a month. I'd only work from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so just 3 days a week doing face-to-face work with just 3 clients a day, which was absolutely fantastic. I learned, as I said, to create a sellable program, create a signature program. I learned how to market effectively, and I was able to confidently say how much it is that I was charging. And as I said, I started at 1,500, and then over time that increased to 5,000 to work with me one-to-one. So that's quite a big increase over a very short period of time. And what happened was, as my confidence started to grow, I started to understand the value of the results that the clients were achieving. So I was able to put my prices up each time. So the 1,500 was just the baseline I started working with, because that's initially how I perceived the value. And this happens with a lot of the clients that I work with. They have a price that they want to move on into, but the reality is that if they don't believe it, they're going to undermine it. So what we do is we start from a point that someone feels comfortable with, and then we increase it every couple of clients, every client, depending on how comfortable they feel. But once they start to build their confidence and they start to get the results and they can see what the results are for their clients, then they start putting their fees up. So that was just the starting point, which I thought was quite interesting. Okay, so if you've got any questions, if you're inspired by my story, pop your questions below. I would love to get your feedback or hear about your own story of how you are doing in your coaching business. Have you come across the same struggles? Is there one particular issue that you can really relate to? Let me know in the comments box below. I would really like to hear your perspective. If you want to hear more videos on how to grow your coaching business, 50 plus and beyond, please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment and share the love. But until next time, I'm going to love and leave you.